Here we go! Oh my god. This is gonna be hard. Hey guys, I'm Bailey. Welcome to my channel, and here you are. The first On My Mind video. I'm doing it. So, what's been on my mind this week? It's coming out. I'm gonna try really hard not to cry, but that probably won't happen. So, this month is Pride Month, and I'm happy to say that it's Pride Month because it's important to celebrate and acknowledge all the LGBTQ plus. There's so many terms. Oh my god. But it's important to celebrate those people, and if you are one of those people, celebrate yourself. Be proud of who you are because it's who you are. And to follow that up, I am proud to say that I'm gay. Why am I so happy? Oh my god. Yeah, so, yeah, that's really hard. So, a little background on myself. I really didn't know about my sexuality until 2 years ago. 2016 is when I kind of started realizing stuff, and that was, when was that? That was before I went into 8th grade, and I think a lot of people realizing their sexuality, realizing who they are, starts in those middle school years when, you know, you're becoming a teenager and you're making a lot of changes in your life physically and mentally and everything rushing in your head, and you start to realize stuff and you start to mature. And that's when I started realizing everything, and it was kind of hard because my entire life before that, I didn't really care about having a love life. I thought, oh, it wasn't important. Not that it is that important, you know. A lot of the time I focus on myself first, and then I'll go out and do anything else that I need. But throughout my whole life, I didn't really care, and I never thought about my sexuality, not because, and I didn't know that much the time before I came out. I didn't, like, throughout elementary school, I didn't know about really different sexualities. It's not that I didn't know, I didn't run through my head that there was so many different sexualities that a person could have and could be. And it's kind of astonishing that, wow, there's so many people out there like that, and it kind of blows my mind. But yeah, so I never really thought about, oh, I might be gay, I might be bi, I might be pan, I might be trans, which I'm not. Any of those. I'm just gay, which, I mean, that's still okay. It's not like I need to be bi. It's like, that's really not a choice. It's just who I am. And so, getting back to the story, the summer of 2016, I had moved. Well, let's go back a little bit. September really, of 2015, I had moved water polo clubs. The club I was at was shutting down for whatever reason, I don't really remember, and I had to move clubs. So I moved to a club called SoCal. It's based in Southern California, and I love the club so much. It's amazing. It's given me so much opportunities. I love it. But anyway, so I moved to this club because my sister was already there. She used to play for the club I was at before, and then she didn't really like the team, so she'd moved to SoCal and she'd really enjoyed it. So once this club shut down, I decided to move there. And it was kind of hard, you know, the first couple of days, you know, learning everybody. I'm nervous. I'm not very good at making friends. And so I was like, I really didn't know what to do, and it was a new club. It's a very well-known club and a very good club. They've done so much. And so it kind of made me nervous, you know, to talk to everybody, and everybody kind of already knew each other because they all lived in that area. I live like an hour away from where this club practices. So yeah, so anyway, so I had gotten to know people kind of quick, you know. One girl kind of took me through the first couple of days. I was like, okay, so this is, you know, one friend, and I started developing friend after friend after friend, and once really the teams got established, I had my group of friends that was my team, and I started to get close to one of my teammates in particular. And looking back at it now, I realized this. I realized this was the moments where I'm starting to figure myself out. And not long after, I started to get closer and closer and closer with her, and it was amazing. I have close friends. I have my best friends, and then there was my teammate. And it made me so happy to see her every practice. I would run up to her and hug her every day, not saying there wasn't other girls that would do that too, but like it was special to me. And I hadn't realized what this friendship was starting to mean for me. And it didn't mean anything. We were just friends to her, but for me it was something different, and I didn't know. And so as we go along through our season, we get to Junior Olympics. I'm not going to explain what that is. It's basically the biggest tournament for any sport, but I play water polo, so the biggest sport for water polo, and it's always held at the end of the summer. So this was the end of the summer, this was the end of our season, and we were going up to Stanford, and we switch every year between Stanford and Orange County. Sometimes it's from Florida, blah, 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 blah. So we had gotten up to Stanford, and we got in our room assignments. Now, I thought our coach would base room off assignments if he knew. He doesn't know like all of us, he wasn't there for that long, but our coach, I thought he would base room assignments off of who he could tell were friends and everything, who were closer to each other, and that's what I thought. So I was hoping to room with this teammate because I was hoping he would see how much we were friends. I did not end up rooming with that teammate, and it made me a little sad, but I was like, okay, it's fine. I'm rooming with other people I like. These guys are great. I love all my team, but it was just her. And so there was things that I did during that tournament that I realized, not at the time, but I realized now and later, that were signs kind of to other people. And so by the end of the tournament, it was our last game. We lost our last game, which isn't always the happiest thing. And we were all saying, you know, we were saying our goodbyes and stuff. And the thing is I wouldn't see this teammate again because she was going to a high school that only played at a certain club. So she wouldn't have been able to play at the club I am, so I wouldn't be able to see her again. And it really made me upset. Like, I'd gotten really close to her over the course of months, and really not to see her again as much as I did, it was kind of heartbreaking. And I was really sad about it, and it was hard to let that friendship go. And so once we were done with our last game, I was in the car with my parents. We were going to go to my sister's game, her last game. And so one of my other teammates had sent me a picture, and it was me and this teammate that I liked. I had her arm around her. She's taller than me, so it's kind of awkward. So I had my arm around her, and we were walking out to the car after one of our games from the day before. And she put a heart around it. This was done on Snapchat, and she sent it to me. That's when everything started to come in. Everything that I did, being close to her, and the relationship that we had, everything kind of clicked in that moment. And I was sitting in the back seat of the car, and I started crying. It's not like I was sobbing. I was trying not to make any noise so my parents wouldn't notice me up front. My mom ends up looking at me, and she sees me crying. She's like, "You sad?" I was like, "Yeah." I didn't tell her why. I might have told her it was, I don't want to go. I'm gonna miss these. I'm gonna miss my teammates, and I truly was gonna miss all of them for the course of 2 weeks until I went back to club to start the new season. But some of them I wasn't able to see because they were aging up, or they were gonna go to a different club because of the high school they went to, which was the case for this teammate. And just crying, and so many things were rushing through my mind. And so once I'd gotten home, I think it was the next day, one of my other teammates, not the one who sent the picture, but another one who I was also close to, had FaceTimed me. And we talked a little bit. She's like, "Hey, can I ask you something?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Do you like this teammate?" And I started to cry because it was hard for me to admit this. And I finally said yes. And so we kind of got to talking and stuff, and I had asked her, "How long could you tell?" Because I couldn't tell. Because I had just never thought about dating anyone or liking anyone, because I never had before. This was my first experience of liking someone and having a crush. But it's not like just a crush, because I would see her 3 times a week, and I'd be able to talk to her, so it was more than a crush. And I asked her how long she'd tell, and she said, "Well, probably around JOs." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So that conversation ended really weirdly, and it was hard. Literally every night after that, I would think to myself, "Oh my God, what am I supposed to do? What do I do?" And my mind was just messed up at that time. There was so much going through my mind, and I never once thought about telling my family, and not my whole family, but just my immediate family, my mom, my dad, and my sister. I was like, I'm not gonna tell them. I need to figure myself out. So I figured myself out through the course of a year, and I just kind of didn't talk about it at all. And I would go to family events and stuff, and my sister had come out to us, not the way she wanted to. she didn't really tell us. It was someone else who told us we had a foreign exchange student, and my sister had told the foreign exchange student, and she told my mom earlier than that. But the foreign exchange student accidentally outed her to myself and my dad. And so by the time all this happened and my feelings and me admitting to my teammates that I did like this girl, I knew about my sister, so I'd go to these family events and they'd kind of be talking about my sister and stuff being gay, and all I could think about was that I am too and stuff, and I couldn't debate when to tell them. So over the course of the year after that happened, in November of 2017, I made a video that I put my whole heart into. I explained everything of how I felt, how I was feeling then, and explained why I didn't want to come out to them until that moment. And it's weird thinking that, whoa, why didn't you just come out to them? They know about your sister, they accept your sister. But like, the thought was going through my head was, how would they feel about both of their daughters being gay? And I was just so worried that would hurt them more. And I knew inside my heart, it's like, oh, it's not gonna matter, but for some reason it held me back so much until I decided. I showed my mom one night, and that was the toughest, because it was really the first person that I cared about, who I didn't want to hurt, that I told. And of course my mom was accepting, and I had to explain to her, after I knew about how I liked this girl and everything, after that I've noticed that I had liked other people too. I just didn't know it in my head. I was also younger. And then I came out to my sister, and it was weird with my sister because she's like, okay, you're gay, whatever, I'm gay too, it's fine, whatever. But that's not what I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping she'd give me advice or whatever. But that didn't happen. I'm okay with it now. And then the next night, I had told my dad. It was hard to tell my dad because, I feel like it's every father's dream to walk your daughter down the aisle. Watch her on her wedding day, give her off to this man that she loves and she cares about. Watch her marry the guy that she loves, but that wasn't gonna happen because both of his daughters are gay. And I'm throwing gay out there so much and it feels weird. I shouldn't, but it does. So that it hurt me so much, and I didn't want him to be like that. I'm, like being overprotected over your daughter, over this guy. I feel like, every dad kind of wants that, and my dad wasn't going to get that. So that's what was hard for me to tell my dad about. But I showed the video to my dad, and he was accepting too, which kind of put a relief on me. And I was like, okay, I did it. So I did that, and then after that, I had told only a few people. My sister told a couple of her friends that I was okay with because they were close to Brooke. I don't really talk to them that much, but I was like, okay, they can know, it's fine, I don't care. And I told a couple of my high school teammates. One of them, because she knew about my sister, and so they were talking about stuff, and she asked me. I was like, she asked me if I was straight. I was like, no. But at the time, I was kind of I was still figuring myself out. And I still am today. I'm, going through everything. Going through high school is a hard time when you're figuring everything out. You're figuring out who you are, but I know for myself it's probably going to take a while, I'm going to take my time and go slow. I don't want to rush into everything. Like, I don't really need a relationship right now. Not that I don't want one. I'd really like one, but I know I'm not going to rush into having my first kiss or having my first relationship or whatever. So, yeah. And then later I had told a couple of my teammates in bus ride home from a game it was an away game. So I told them, and it was kind of hard because there's a lot of people around, but they're all talking, listening to headphones or whatever. So I had told them, and one of them, and specifically, it was okay, was good to tell because she was pansexual, and I knew about this. And she hadn't come out to her family either. And so I told her how I did it, and I think that really opened up her mind to telling her parents and stuff, which she ended up doing. And it kind of went okay, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, I told them. So over the course, I had told a few people at a time, and it was kind of good for me to kind of let that relief off with those people so I could really be who I was around them, and it would be okay with them. And the people who I hadn't told yet until now, I did this today, was my closest friends. I have 3 of my closest friends who I've known since like first grade. I had yet to tell, and I was so scared to tell them because I didn't want to lose them. I know one of them goes to church and is kind of religious. The other one goes to church sometime, but I don't really know about her. And then the other one just doesn't. So, but I still didn't know really their views on everything because they had kind of made jokes about stuff. So I really didn't know what was their thoughts on people being gay, and especially me being gay, because I had known them for so long. So today I kind of just texted this out to the group chat we had, and I was like, I appreciate your friendship so much, and I really don't want to lose that, but I finally am ready to tell you that I'm gay. And I told them, if you can't accept me for who I am, it's okay. And that I hope, we can still be friends, because I want to be friends with you till I get out of high school. After I get out of high school, when I'm done with college, I still want to be friends with you guys. And to my luck, they all were very accepting about it. And it's so relieving to hear that someone will still accept you no matter what your choices are. That's really what a true friend is. And so now that I've kind of came out to everyone I really care about and that's important to me, it's a relief on my body so I can be who I am around them without trying to hide it. Because, scrolling through my phone, looking at pictures of girls around my friends and trying to hide my emotions about it it's hard. And I imagine it's hard for other people too to do this. But I want to let you know that if it doesn't work out for you coming out, that there are other people to support you. And that it will be okay, and that you will find someone who accepts you for who you are, and that will be your friend. That'll be your new group of friends. And if your friends before can't accept you out for who you are, that they really shouldn't be your friends. Not that you can't still talk to them sometimes, but you really need to find a group of people that you can trust and be yourself around. And yeah, so I'm glad I got that out of my system. Yeah, so that's my story. And I wanted to tell this to you guys, so as I post videos and as I do stuff, I can be myself. Like I've said, I think being true to yourself is really important for someone, especially my age, trying not to fit into like a clique or what you see on social media or television or whatever. Trying to emulate that or be that really isn't ideal. You really just stick to yourself. Be who you are, be who you want to be, and kind of go from there. So, if you're having trouble coming out, I'm going to let you know that it'll be okay. There are people out there that support you. Yeah. I got through that without crying. Oh my god. Okay, so yeah. So, that's this week's On My Mind. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.